Ladies and gents, welcome back. I started chatting with the chat and I realized that I hit record and not and not go live. Wow, it's been a long week. It's been one of those weeks. It absolutely has been. Holy cow, that I actually did that. I just recorded a segment for nobody. Just talking about what's going on. So one of the things I was working on, and I'm a bit scatterbrained, I talked to a YouTube rep recently. Because I'm so close to 100,000K, amazing. You guys are fantastic. YouTube rep, someone from Google, reached out. Yeah, sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late, guys. Reached out and said, hey, let's give you some tips on how to grow your channel and stuff and what you can do. And one of the things was, they said, hey, you got members. Why don't you give them something back? Give them a perk. Here's one thing you can do. Give them some emojis to play with in the chat. And well, I want you guys to try it out. Try it out in the chat. There should be some new emojis that are channel specific if you are a member of the channel. So any of the members out there, just give it a go. Give it a go. I added a few of them. There's the dumpster fire. Joe Lyman testing them out. That's right. That's right. Lots of dumpster fires. I added some jerry cans, Canadian flag, goose, honk honk, some fun ones. And everyone who's anyone who's a member of the channel can just have at her, have a lot of fun, and yeah, do that. I'm gonna try to introduce some more new perks and whatnot. But that's what's going on. If you're new to the channel and you're just tuning in, say you're watching this video later and you're like, why does Clyde do something? I have such a long video going on. This is the live stream that happens every Friday night at 6:30 Pacific time, just after my dinner. And well, if you're in the East, that's 9:30 Eastern time. For all those in the chat, welcome. Enjoy the new emojis. This is another new fun feature for the channel. But yeah, this is the long form content. Elo Brown joining the community. Welcome. You did something. I suppose, yeah. Oh, because people want the emojis now. Go. Why doesn't Clyde do something? Well, I'm doing something now. I'm doing it late apparently, and that was my bad at the beginning of the stream, and trying to get some stuff going on. So I've been watching this inquiry and I'm just brain fog, brain numbness from just so many hours and hours and hours of testimony in my ear. And I got to hand it to Ro at the War Campaign for sitting there and actually televising this to everybody on YouTube every day with commentary in between the segments, and actually like pulling out things. The whole community is doing such a bang up job, because it's hard to notice everything, but when you have a lot of people coming together, then a lot more things get noticed. Is being a member different than from being a subbed? Yes, a membership is a paid membership. It's a way to support the channel. You get a different badge, and then there's also a role in the Discord if you have your YouTube link, your YouTube account linked to your Discord. If you don't know what Discord is, it's another social media. There's a link in the description down below to the Clyde Do Something server. We hang out there every Friday. Actually, after I do the live stream, we go there and we hang out. This is when I can have some wobbly pops. I have my soda water while I'm streaming on YouTube, but that's definitely a fun thing to do on Friday evening, having the wobbly pops, because I don't know. I'm just afraid. I'm afraid of getting in trouble on YouTube. I think it's less of getting afraid of getting in trouble, or just knowing that, a certain kind of commentary gets targeted more than others. So I don't break the rules. If they want to get rid of me, they're gonna have to find something on me, because I'm not gonna break any of their rules, and that's just the story I'm sticking to, and that's the way I'm gonna do it. Holy cow! But yeah, this hearing has been amazing, and I just keep pulling up stuff that I want to share with you guys, and putting it in the queue of things that I want to talk about. But it's just the list keeps growing, and I don't know what to talk about. I don't know how much things to get into because I could go all night long talking about all the little ins and outs of the inquiry and what's been going on there. So I'm going to spare you, actually, and I'm just going to get into some of these memes that I've been seeing people posting all day today. It seems like everybody knows that the Friday night live stream is going to happen, and I get like a huge excess of memes in the memes channel in the Discord because it's just funny. And yeah, lots of Twitter stuff. And well, right away, here's one Twitter thing. I don't know if this is real. Okay, so Kian Bexty posted this on Twitter. He says, this is an email from ex-Twitter employee is claiming to have received from Elon Musk, new head of HR. It seems real, and I sure hope it is. If somebody says it's real, it doesn't mean it's real. But this is an email, an internal email, or well, it's a Gmail account at Twitter. Okay, so yeah, time to leave the nest. You're fired. I guess a lot of people are getting fired. A lot of people are getting fired, and it's funny. I heard from someone. What was it? I think it was Snatch was telling me before the live stream that it's more than just Twitter employees that are getting fired. Apparently, 15% of people across the field, the tech field, are getting fired. And he said maybe it's time that they learn to dig coal. If you don't get the reference, years ago, journalists were pretty harsh about the coal miners in eastern states of the United States, as the Obama administration was basically just ending coal for everybody, ending the coal industry. And they said the journalists were completely just like not having it. Who cares about these old coal miners that have been doing it their whole life? Who cares about them? And they started saying, well, maybe they should learn how to code. And that was the thing. And then when a lot of, I mean, it's so cruel. But what happened was eventually all the journalists started losing their jobs because of people like me, because of people taking to the internet and distributing news and stuff like that for, well, just for fun as a hobby or what have you. But anyway, it led to a lot of the news agencies firing their journalists. And well, then the hashtag learn to code became hate speech at that point, and that was a thing. So yeah, here's the learn to dig coal, learn to mine. I think is what they're going to be doing next. Hello, Clyde. We'll digest and comment later. Okay. No truth, no job. That's right. Hey, Clyde. It made me upset when the judge today told the lawyer for the young woman and man with disability her photos were acceptable, but looked at them anyway. Yes, I want to get into that. That was okay. So those witnesses were actually unexpected, and that's why there was a whole bunch of controversy in the hall over that. Is because they were just pulled in, and then new evidence came to light, and there's a procedure, and there's been a lot of leeway in this hearing, and when people are playing by the rules, and then other people come in late, they get upset because they took so much time to prepare everything. Keep on keeping on, my man. Keep on trucking, Travis. Absolutely. Thanks for all your work. Thank you, Frankie. Unacceptable spitting. Absolutely. Where are we? Elon just put a piece of coal in their socks. I like that. Oh, Twitter is getting fun. It's noticeable how much more traffic there is, actually. Honestly, like I don't use Facebook. I think Facebook's a trash website. Whatever. A lot of people still use Facebook, but I noticed years ago that if you said certain things, it would just like somehow not reach everybody. And it's just something that they've been doing for a long time. Twitter's been doing it, but there's been ways around, like changing what you're saying so it doesn't get caught. But then shadow banning was happening quite a lot, and now we're really seeing what the effects of it were. Because I've been just tweeting just as much as usual, but the growth has been way bigger. It's unbelievable, and I have high hopes for it as a platform moving forward. Some people are poo-pooing that idea, but I do have hopes for it. I do have hopes, and I think that Elon is going to maybe we should get into that after. Sure, soda water. Yeah, absolutely. It's soda water. You're moving up to 100K subs, Clyde. Yeah, Canada RV van life. Very soon. We're getting so close. And then you get that silver play button when you get there, apparently. And I'm looking forward to that. I think I'll have to make a place on the wall for that. But it's you guys. I have you guys to thank. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Trish Peru, good evening. Hello, everyone. Army Jarvis, welcome to the chat. Let's get into some of this. Heck yeah, 100K coming. Stay free. Absolutely. What was this? Just checking out what some of these. Okay, Twitter's been getting better, but it's been taking longer load speeds. Ongoing price negotiation with Elon. Okay, so this has been the story. So they're wrapping it. They're ramping it up because AOC said, "What? I'm not gonna pay $8 for the for verified." So what happened was Twitter. New chief twit Elon Musk, he said, well, we got to pay for this somehow, and you can't do it with advertisers, and it's been running at a loss for a lot of years. Let's make a profit essentially out of this thing. So she said, I'm not gonna pay up. No way. Why would I pay $8 for the verified badge? And it's just like, because you still want to be verified. So and I hope he holds true to the verify everyone. I do look forward to getting that verification. Clyde, my man, you are definitely one of my top 3 go-to dudes for news. Keep it up, bro. And hello from Nanaimo. Hello. I don't go to Nanaimo very often because of the communist ferry that takes you there, and the waits for sailings are terrible. But welcome. Thank you so much. Hey, Clyde. Hey, Sailor Jerry Swallow. Clyde, well done. Where did that disappear? What happened there? Okay, anyway, gonna move on. Let's get to some more of these memes. I think a lot of these have to do with the Twitter verse this week. A lot of people talking about this. My Twitter blue check is a status symbol. It separates me from the low class. Show everyone that I'm important. LOL, I paid $8 and now you're the same. I love it. Verify everyone. Stephanie Berry, welcome to the channel membership. You did something. Welcome. I love these memes. Some of these are just fantastic. $8 cover charge. Yeah, you can't beat that. Can't beat that. I remember having to pay cover charges to get into bars, and I thought it was ridiculous. And I'm like going with my single friends. Why am I doing this? Why am I paying money to get in? Oh, what else do we have here? We've got some good ones. We've got the let's declare a pandemic amnesty. We need to forgive one another for what we did and said. We were in the dark about COVID. Best I can do is a military tribunal. If only. We had that announcement from Preston Manning. So I've got a little bit of hope. A little bit, maybe just a little bit. What else we have here? How would you like to even what? How would you even spot a real supervillain? It's not like they dress up in a costume and have a German accent like in the movies. Wow. It is true. It is true. This is what they do. I can't believe it. Like, you can't even make this stuff up, honestly. Oh, God. Oh, you guys are the greatest. Help AOC afford her blue check mark. GoFundMe, $8 goal. Unreal. Unreal. What else have we got? Dude, some of these you gotta be careful about. You don't want to share. You don't want to share. Some of them are a little too spicy, maybe for YouTube. Oops. Let me get this one. Amnesty. Oops. It turns out they weren't witches after all. Mistakes were made on both sides. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Unreal. Anyway, I think we should get into some of what was going on this week. Oh, this is a good one, actually. This is the They Live meme. If you haven't seen this movie, it's a great movie. Rowdy Piper, a fellow Canadian, WWF champion back when it was the WWF. Rowdy Piper. Yeah, he's starring in It Lives, or They Live. They Live is the name of the movie. Anyway, Sustainable Development Goals. Yeah, and that's the New World Order goals. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into some of this stuff that I want to talk about, because I'm gonna end up going on some rants. It's gonna be too much, and then I won't be able to get to all the things that I wanted to cover. Apparently, there's some stuff going on in Ontario. The notwithstanding clause is like a big issue right now because Doug Ford is using it to keep kids in school, and there's a contentious, hot debate back and forth between teachers and, well, the parents that need their kids in school. And, well, here's the CUPE versus kids, essentially. You have no idea what you've started. Union leaders appalling display at the legislature today as they preside over a strike that hurts kids. And this is them showing by example. You know, what do we learn in school? Don't point at people and shout. Okay. Well, unless money's on the table, then you can point at people and shout. I have a hard time. I really have a hard time. I think there is place for unions. You know, like when they're low wages and all that stuff and horrible working conditions. And we could have that discussion all day long, but public sector unions, get out of here. I really, they're just holding people hostage. When I was a kid, this is just insane. Wow. When are the tomatoes coming out? It's sad. This guy almost got into it. We got Liberace in the front here. I have no idea what you just started. Oh God. How do they not turn back at this and just like see how embarrassing this is? and then they're gonna go teach your children. This is, oh God, this guy. You have no idea what you just started, Liberace. You have no idea. But I lived through this when I was a kid. I remember it. Like, I do remember it. I grew up in Ontario, and I remember the teachers telling us, you should never, ever try to use bribery or violence or any of this stuff to get your way, kids. Oh, by the way, we're going on strike. And we're not negotiating. We're just going on strike. Everybody go home. And, you know, and no idea when we're coming back, kind of thing. And disrupting education is a tactic. It's a tactic, and it's in my eyes, I think it's abhorrent what they do. In this, I know there's a lot of teachers that are, shrugging their shoulders. I can't do anything. It's the union. I can't work without the union. They won't let me. Yeah, I don't support it. Custodians, support staff, secretaries. Oh, hold on. I don't know what you're talking about, Pamela. Bus drivers do their strike work to order. They wear plain clothes and stuff. Oh, okay. 50 years, teachers had second jobs. Do not remember a strike. Well, here's the thing. So I hear teachers complain about second jobs. Well, when you have 2 months off, you can get a job. You can get another job. A lot of these teachers that are taking the other job, they're not taking it because they can't afford to live. A lot of these teachers are paid pretty well, like pretty handsomely for the workload that they do. And it's a sought after job. Like, you have to realize there are teachers out there in Canada, and you'll know this. If anybody knows a teacher or knows someone who's trying to become a teacher, it's incredibly hard to get the position. Why would that be? Wait a second. Why would that be? Wait, maybe there's a barrier to entry, just a massive one, a massive, massive barrier to entry. And it's actually quite difficult to get into a teaching position. And once you've gotten there, then you want to make faces like this and keep that position and rake in all the benefits as much as you can. I remember there being, Clyde, it's not the teachers. It's not teachers. Who is it? Is there gatekeepers in the middle? Because I remember growing up, the teachers being pretty on board with this. Reply to clip, Clyde. Replay the clip, Clyde. Replay the clip? I'm replaying it. CUPE are custodians, EAs, and secretaries. Is that what's actually happening here? These are secretaries and custodians. All professionals and trade unions act like gatekeepers. Well, that's really the point I'm making here. Chippy ATV, member for 5 months. And membershiping, getting in there. Did you know, do you know how to grift some membership? You do you know how to grift memberships? Or do I know how to? Do I ever? It's YouTube. YouTube put me up to it. That's what they did. They pulled me off on the side. But this is okay, so it's the librarians and it's all these things. Right. I can't find a button. Which button are you trying to find? There's there's the emojis. There's new emojis. You can check them out. Definitely good. Parents were teachers can confirm hardcore liberals. Scotch sale starts Sunday. It's weird seeing Queen's Park in Toronto full of protesters today. Thumb to the thumb. Trying to gift some memberships for folks. Oh, okay. I actually don't know how that's done. I know a lot of people are doing that, but I don't know how it's done. But yes, unions, especially the CUPE, I stand in opposition to, like, just on a principled ground. We are the taxpayers. You shouldn't be negotiating with politicians about what your pay is and what it's going to be, and then holding public works that are monopolies. Like these public works, we don't have an option with something else. You can't hold these things hostage, whether it's schooling or utilities or something else. They're all public CUPE. The public sector unions, and I definitely disagree with them. EA spends way more time with the kids. EAs, I don't know what EAs are. Oh no, Clyde's going squirrel ice cream truck. What are you talking about? Oh heck, I love that hugs, Clyde. Support staff. $18,000 to top end at $32,000 for support staff. Is that like 18 grand for not a year? That can't be. Oh, education assistant. Oh, okay. Educational assistant. I didn't know that. But the CUP are all the support staff. Huge amount of staff paid much lower than the teachers. Many not full-time jobs. Oh, okay. Well, that would explain the $18,000 a year, and that's yeah. So the CUPE does not just cover. I know the CUPE works with there's like a lot of like utility jobs, so water treatment, things like that. A lot of CUPE employees, but I just on a principled stand, the idea of a public sector union is just abhorrent to me. The idea that they do collective bargaining against politicians, and then politicians use that as a leveraging chip to win votes, and it's yeah, not a good scenario. Teachers get over 75K. Yeah, there's a lot. That's why I said teachers their job is quite lucrative, and it's quite hard to get in because of the barrier to entry. Clyde, let's do the temporary foreign workers wrench in the in the machine. Temporary foreign workers. Do you want me to talk about that as a philosophy or as an approach? I don't have an issue with temporary foreign workers in certain circumstances. I think the system is abused massively. I think, for example, like when I grew up in Ontario, there was a lot of temporary foreign workers that would come in for picking corn and doing other agricultural things that would only last for a short amount of time. And they would go in and do that because there was not enough people. They would hire Canadians first, and then whatever they couldn't fill in, they would have temporary workers come in. And I'm for that. I have no problem with that. But that's how it's supposed to work. That's not always how it does work, though. And that's where a lot of the issues are. Clyde, your friend said it best. All politicians are set to fail. Yeah, you're talking about AVE, and I really respect what he came in and had to say about that completely. I think the divide, and it got me thinking actually a lot. And I actually had to do a lot of reflection, because when I did the video, I was just reacting to it as it was happening. But then it made me reflect a lot as to how to move forward. I know we joke about the amnesty thing, which I don't think people should just get amnesty after the COVID thing. We need to have like truth and reconciliation, like a real deal thing, and actually get people to come together. And I'm actually willing to reach across the aisle and talk to people as long as people want to come in good faith to talk about it. And I would like to bridge that divide. That is something that I would like to see happen in my lifetime. I believe it's possible. This divide has come in a short period of time. I think we can achieve it. Absolutely. Where was I? Clyde, Tim Hortons in Newfoundland drive-through isn't English or French. Job sites in construction are shady subcontractors. Now, I've seen this a lot with fast food franchises. They'll reach out and they'll hire people from abroad as foreign workers, but then they come in and their whole incentive for them would be to come and immigrate to Canada, earn that immigration. I think it's okay. It's a bad situation for a lot of people in a lot of reasons. I think minimum wage laws being raised up super high has knocked the rungs off of the ladder for barrier to entry for kids and whatnot. The whole point of kids getting into these entry level positions is so that they can start somewhere. They're not going to make a lot of money. They're living with mom and dad or whatever. It's just about getting a bit of job experience, part-time, what have you. Chippy's ATV, $10 super chat. Since I'm too special to find gifting membership options, so this is gonna have to do. All right. Well, thanks for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate that. I think so. I don't think that there's an issue with okay, so for example, if you're a restaurateur, you're a business owner, whatever, you can't find somebody to fill the position. Nobody in your local area will is either eligible, like applicable, they don't qualify for the job, or nobody wants the job and you've been trying for ages. Then that is a time when you can, reach across borders and incentivize people to come in. Now, what I found is abuse on both sides of that. There's people who abuse that to bring in lots of workers, knowing that they'll have them cheaper, and not only that, they can hold something over them. They can hold their immigration status over them, and I think it's really sad to see when people come from across the world, pick everything up, move to Canada, and then they'll have some slum boss that owns like a house that houses a bunch of people in one tight little place because they can't afford it, rent or whatever, because how much they're paid and all this. And everything is dependent on their immigration status. They'll have to go home if they don't work for that company. This is how things work, and I think it's sad. I think when it works well, because it helps out businesses that can't find people, the Canadians that wanna work. It does help bring people in, but then other people are taking advantage of it, and I think it's absolutely terrible. And it's that I honestly feel bad for those people in those situations, because and I hope for them to get out of it so that they can become Canadian if they want to become Canadian and get that. Anyway, don't worry, corn pop will fit right in with today's society. I don't know what that means. Why wouldn't you identify as trans if you are applying for a new job? Well, I guess you could be trans qualified. It's like show up for the doctor job. Like, could I see your MD? It's right here. It's like in crayon. No, what are your actual qualifications? Well, I identify as a qualified doctor, and I would like to get my $300,000 to $400,000 salary. Thank you very much. That's trans mechanic. There are tranny mechanics out there. Messy job. Yeah, it's a messy job. Let's get on with it. Come on. What are we doing? Let's I'm not even going there. Never mind. I'm not going there. Let's get into some of this inquiry. The inquiry into the Emergencies Act. So this week we heard from the organizers of the Freedom Convoy. Now it turns out there was several groups that organized themselves. The ones that most people know are the ones that most people donated to, right? So Tamara Litt, she was the person who became the face of this whole thing, and it was largely because of the GoFundMe she set up in the beginning, and she wanted to help out with the convoy that was being put together by a lot of people from a lot of different walks of life, places, and whatnot. And she came in and said she would help with some of the finances stuff. She was good at that for her job, so she could help do that. Robert Gallagher with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Your memes last week is killing me. Last week? What about this week? And it's you guys out in the Discord that are always sharing all the good memes. But we're gonna get into some of these for this inquiry thing here. So Tamara, she started the GoFundMe, and we heard a lot more about that in her testimony for the inquiry. She set up the GoFundMe. And then quickly it started growing. So she put together a corporation around it. I guess it would be a charitable nonprofit corporation. And the whole idea was to bring about accountability. And it's a great thing that Tamara was the one who did that, because she was responsible enough to know this is how we do it. And then when then they hit the road, and holy cow, it just started flowing. It just, holy cow, the amazing turnout of people. And I think there's one clip in here that I'm going to show, and it really brought everything back to where it was for me when the convoy got going, because I was getting really upset with the testimonies that were going on. I was getting calls from Ottawa as a mechanic. They're saying the suspension on our buses is just bagged right out. Everyone's been thrown under it. We need a mechanic over here pronto to fix all the suspension under these buses, because people were just, it's been a for lack of a better term, a shit show. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, some of this has been really disappointing to see, and I hate to see it. I hate to see people going away from the cause that was the main reason why everyone got together for it, and then make it about I did this and I was here and you didn't talk to me and we didn't whatever. I don't play those games. I don't like that stuff. And when I see it, it just it turns me off. I'm not gonna lie. It really turns me off. It turned me off seeing it from the politicians of Ottawa in the first week, and whatever about them. It's expected from those people. And then to see the police organizations and how much they were doing it, it was like, oh, okay, well, somebody's got to be the fall guy for how badly you screwed this up. But to see it happen with some of the convoy organizers, that hit me hard. I didn't like to see that. I think the convoy wasn't about them, and I think that's what Tamara's testimony really shone through the most for me, was that she's so humble. It's crazy. It's insane. It's so insane how humble she is. But, and I'm welling up. I'm welling up thinking about it. But it wasn't about them. And and yeah, what they did sparked something, and what it did is it sparked what Canadians around the country wanted back. They wanted back that feeling of being a Canadian and being part of something, and having neighbors and neighbors that look at each other in a friendly way. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry. Redneck with the $100 super chat. Thank you so much. Wow, that's crazy. No way I'm paying for emojis. I ride for free. Honk honk. Okay, sure. Oh, I really appreciate that, man. That's insane. That's a big super chat. Wow, amazing. Again, thank you so much, Redneck. I ride for free. She's a strong woman. 49 days in jail. Political prisoner. That's right, Maiden. That's right. It's just it busts me up. It busts me up to see the blame game and stuff like that. And it wasn't all of them. Like that wasn't all of it. But I can't get behind that. I can't get behind it. I can't endorse that. It's not me. It's not me. I just didn't feel good. Did not feel good watching it. I've never seen that color. Red. Yeah, right. That's amazing. Thanks, Redneck. Again, amazing. A red super chat. Honk honk from South Dakota. Honk honk. My American friend. Amazing. Most people don't know I'm actually a dual citizen, so I'm also American. So, and this is why I've always, well, maybe it's not the only reason why, but I've always hated the sentiment of Canadians saying that their unique identifier is that they're not American. That was a Trudeau, the first Trudeau thing. He got that started, and I'm not about that. I think we have a good culture here in Canada that's on par with the United States. It's maybe there's some small differences, but we're brothers. Absolutely. Joe Lyman doing advertising for the emojis available in the I'll get some more going. That's just what I could put together before the stream. I thought it was funny. Dueling Citizen. Yeah, with the banjo. I like that. But okay, let's get into this. I started going on a tangent about all kinds of stuff, but yeah, I definitely I'm not keen on this idea of I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. Throwing people under the bus or what? A real wrench would be throwing Pat on to provide testimony. Well, Pat was on. Pat did testify. So, interesting enough. I thought Pat was going to be this big blowhard. I honestly did. I thought he was going to go on and he was just going to be this big, embarrassing spectacle. It wasn't as embarrassing as some of the other testimonies, honestly. He's a bolsterous person, man. He's something else. I can't get behind a lot of the things that he's talked about in the past or whatever. And I'll admit, like, he's shown how much they've taken him out of context for the purpose of that, but he really dances on that line of nah, I don't agree with a lot of that stuff. But that being said, I mean, he's a bolsterous, grandiose blowhard. That's the kind of guy he is. But he has a right to be that, and that's him. But he's got nuts though, Clyde. Yeah, absolutely, he does. But I can understand why Tamara, even in her testimony, said, "You got to turn around. You got to get out of here. This isn't good. This isn't what. This is not the image we're trying to put forward for this. It was supposed to be a wholesome thing." Yeah, anyway, so let's get into some of the things that went down. I've got some clips that I think some of them are funny, some of them are massive bookends. I don't have that clip. That was from last week. Oh God, like I said, this whole inquiry has just been a mind bending experience. Absolutely. Massive bookends. and News Now Canada Hamilton. Thank you for that reminder. And that was the comment. Peter Slowly, apparently chopping somebody's huevos off to use them as bookends. That was something that was said that he said. Clyde, you have 650 plus people right now to advertise your new Clips channel to. I do, and I will. I'll get there. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. I do have a new Clips channel, and we'll get to that, and we'll give a link in the description, or in the comments, so you guys can check it out. I get my news first thing in the morning from you. Thank you, Clyde. Sorry, I can't beat the red color, the $100 red color. Anna May, thank you so much for the $6.99 super chat. I really appreciate that. Oh, and I wanted to get to some of the super chats that I couldn't get to when I was talking to Max Bernier. I had Maxime Bernier on the other day, and I wanted to read out some of these super chats, and thank you for the reminder here before we get into some of these clips. I wasn't able to because Max had promised to shoot another video for the next day at the time that we were doing the chat. So I had the live chat, and then we went right to recording another thing. So he didn't have the time to hang around while I went through all the super chats. So I'll go through a few of these here right now. Deborah McDonald with $5 super chat said, I just love the guests that Clyde gets on his channel. 100% respect. Cannot wait. And this was before it even went going. A tip for playing piano from Deborah, again with a $2 super chat. Basil, the pumpkin seagull. The pumpkin seagull. I always say pumpkin. I don't know why. Something wrong with me. It's too bad Max torpedoed the CPC instead of waiting for Scheer to fail miserably, as we all know would happen. He could have stepped in afterwards. Yeah, that's a point. Basil also saying, there are people who would vote for a cardboard cutout as long as it had the party logo they wanted. That's just a fact. I can't agree more. Yeah, sorry, it's not pumpkin seagull. Sorry about that. And Basil, if you're in the chat, say hello. Jerome Noel, I thought I saw you in the chat already tonight. Left a $50 super chat on that video. Bookmark fee, honk honk. Sorry for being late, hey. Craig Andrus says, does the PPC support lowering the price of cannabis $1 a gram? If the government truly wanted to get rid of the black market, this may help. I can buy enough alcohol to kill a town, but I can only buy 1 ounce of pot. Oh, that's funny. I don't know enough about pot stuff. That's not my forte. I'm all for it being legal. It's not something I partake in. Unacceptable Fringe said, if there was one man I wished I could have met in Ottawa last week, it's Max. Glad to see you guys talking, Clyde. Awesome. Appreciate that. Deborah McDonald's also saying CBC cut them, which looks like there's a push and a move to do that at the moment. Shark Arc Heart with $8 super chat. In Britain, refugee housing is provided by public-private partnerships and offered landlords 5 years of rent, all bills paid. Native people are evicted. I did not know that. Anyway, sorry for not getting to those super chats at that time. My apologies. I wanted to make sure to readdress them because I do really appreciate every single one of you guys and all of your comments. All of your comments, not just the super chats. I really do appreciate it, and I try to get to the ones, especially if people paid cash to put a comment in. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to that with that particular interview. Apologies. Well, let's get into some of these clips. He buys beer. Eventually I'll be buying some more equipment, actually, hopefully, for traveling. Excuse me. Another one thing that a lot of these super chats are actually going towards, they're going towards expanding what it is that I do here, and hopefully bring you guys more conversations with more people, more content. We've got a clips channel starting. So I'm gonna get some more content on that. I think we're gonna do that because clips they work different on the algorithm. We don't flood this channel with different content that people aren't used to. Keep things good for the content that people like here, and then clips for over on the other channel. And there's gonna be all kinds of clips. So clips of media, clips of the channel, clips of things. Not like Viva Fry. It's going to be a little bit different than Viva Fry's clips channel. So, and you might be pleasantly surprised. But if you're into that, we'll give you the link to subscribe to the channel. Let me just do that now so you guys have it. By the way, channel is not much yet, but it's right there. Check it out. Let's get into some of these clips. Anyway, too much talking about other stuff. Thank you, Clyde. No, thank you, Maiden. Thank you. Honestly, thank you all for hanging out. This is what keeps it going. No name. Yeah, you're spelling it Von Gogh. Van Gogh. Are you spending it on Van Goghs? My mother painted that. It has some sentimental value for me. I couldn't afford a Van Gogh. Holy cow. No, one thing I am looking forward to getting is a mobile setup, so I can actually, if I hear somebody's available or I'm traveling, I could go to them and do these chats, possibly in the future. And I think that would be really cool to be able to pull off. Anyway, let's get into some of this. The Real Andy Lee Show, which she is going to be coming on the channel hopefully next week. Get her coming on. Tom Marazzo, the vice president of Diagolon, being a time-traveling, cocaine-addicted... This is just... You can't make this stuff up. So they tried to do the guilt by association thing, right? Guilt by association thing on Tom Marazzo during his testimony. And in this clip, well, Tom bites back. He goes right back at them, and holy cow, this is just an amazing moment.
He is the creator of a fictitious meme on the internet known as Diagolon, which I assume what you're going to ask me about, and the vice president of Diagolon being a time-traveling, cocaine-addicted goat. That is just a internet meme that has no meaning at all. And I had spoken to Jeremy the first time when I was in Ottawa on the phone. And the second time I spoke to Jeremy was when the Liberal government was debating whether or not they should use the Emergency Act, and they were citing this fictitious goat that time travels as a domestic terrorist group and justification for invoking the Emergency Act. And I saw a video that Jeremy and his friends were doing, and they were laughing hysterically, showing clips of the government actually talking about Diagolon as being a real thing. Everybody knew it was a joke. When I saw the video, I contacted Jeremy and I said, tell me everything there is to know about Diagolon. He said, if you draw a diagonal line from Alaska through Alberta to Texas, it makes a diagonal line. And that's why it's called Diagolon. They're the only states and provinces that don't have mask mandates. And he used it as a joke. He made the symbol for Diagolon in a second on his cell phone because it's a joke. And it is meaningless. He did it to attract attention for people to come to a barbecue and to have a lot of fun. That were, people wanted to have a barbecue without masks on. A bunch of strangers that didn't know each other. And yet here he was watching members of parliament in the Liberal Party actually joking or actually seriously stating that the reason for invoking the Emergency Act was because of Diagolon. Like, it was the most outrageous, ridiculous thing I had ever seen. And I think this commission should be investigating that as the biggest intelligence joke of, the last decade. It's a joke. Diagolon is a joke. It's not even a real thing.
It's not even a real thing. I love how he just kept driving it home with he's a goat that time travels. It's unreal. This is the testimony. Don't forget, everyone at home, this whole inquiry is into the use of the Emergencies Act. Everybody's using it as a slander piece or a piece to sell a book or a thing to win an election or whatever. This is we're supposed to be looking into whether or not the use of the Emergencies Act was justified. Unreal. This is what we're getting into. So we got another clip, and this is my. So this man here is the attorney representing Zexi Lee. This is the one who brought the injunction against the convoy to cease the honking, and I believe it's a lawsuit for, I don't know, 100 million, 300 million, $1 trillion. They're just like getting right into this. It's just, you'd think that sounds ridiculous until you see Chump Paul Champ, the attorney at law, coming up and his little tirades. I mean, we're gonna put together a whole compilation of his tirades by the end of this, because I think it all needs to be in one place for this guy, and you can't miss the. I mean, I stopped putting stickers on my laptop when I was in my 20s, but whatever, if that's your thing, good for you. But you'll see throughout these clips, he has a sticker that says "Tax the Rich" on his laptop. Oh, mine's too much. He absolutely does. It's crazy. This little exchange is just unbelievable.
And then finally, Diagolon, you said that this was a joke, and it was about creating a diagonal state of people who don't wear masks. Isn't it in fact the case, it was the concept or the image is a diagonal state where there would only be white people who would live in it, and they could get all non-white people out, correct?
All right, so
Hey, please, just wait a moment, please. Let's try and keep it quiet, please.
So in case you didn't hear that, that was the audience in there with a giant jeer, completely jeering to what he had just said. Isn't it, you say it's because they don't wear masks. What you really mean, though, is, like, thanks, Kathy Newman. So what you're really saying is because they're all going to be white people. What? Get out of here. What are you talking about?
While we hear the evidence, this is the equivalent of a court in the sense that we have sworn evidence, and we'd like to keep a proper atmosphere. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
if you were to meet some of Jeremy Mackenzie's friends and the ones that were on the video that I was describing earlier where they were laughing about the Liberal Party using Diagolon as a justification, you'll see clearly that one of Jeremy's best friends is a black man. I can't even comprehend how somebody...
Does he have a Jewish accountant as well?
Sorry?
Does he have a Jewish accountant as well?
I don't even know what that means.
Have you looked at Mr. Mackenzie's online rants? You've seen them. Do you think that...
I've seen some of his rants, and some of them, you know, some of the things he says I don't agree with, and some of the things I think he's absolutely spot on.
That is like...
That's up to me to...
Okay, that is one of the cringiest things that you could possibly say. And it's like, aren't you guys a bunch of racists? Well, actually, his best friend is a black guy. Oh, well, here, let me double down by saying something racist myself. What? Like, that's literally what he did. Unreal. So I had to clip this, and this is the first clip that we put on the new clips channel. I'm going to have to mute it at one point because I don't want to get nailed for a copyright. But here's my little edit of that little exchange there.
Isn't it in fact the case, it was the concept or the image is a diagonal state where there would only be white people who would live in it, and they could get all non-white people out, correct?
All right, so...
Hey, let's try and keep it quiet, please, while we hear the evidence. This is the equivalent of a court.
If you were to meet some of Jeremy Mackenzie's friends and the ones that were on the video that I was describing earlier where they were laughing about the Liberal Party using Diagolon as a justification, you'll see clearly that one of Jeremy's best friends is a black man. I can't even comprehend how somebody...
Does he have a Jewish accountant as well?
Sorry?
Does he have a Jewish accountant as well?
Bum 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 ba da 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 da. Oh, how awkward. Unreal. But anyway, that's a good show for the Clips channel, and here's a link to the Clips channel in the chat right there. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make it up. This guy's a fool. Absolute fool. Unacceptable Fringe with a $20 super chat. Not so shameless plug. Can't wait for Clyde's book review in 11 days. Glad you enjoyed it, Clyde. Woo! I can't wait to get a physical copy, my friend, and I can't wait to tell everyone about it. Unacceptable Fringe. Derek, I'm looking forward to your next book, and yeah, we'll get that out there for sure, absolutely. But holy cow, this guy, Larry David writer credit, absolutely, for sure. I mean, how do you say that? How do you say that? What he's doing is he's accusing Jeremy Mackenzie of tokenism by only having his friend. Only having a black person be his friend for tokenism. That's what he's saying, and that's why he said, "Does he have a Jewish accountant as well?" I mean, when people do that, they don't realize that that's racist. That's a racist thing to do or say. It's the absence of caring about people's race that is the not racism. Don't you get it? Like, that's the whole thing. It's such a cell phone. Absolutely. Isn't that all to discredit the convoy? Absolutely. That's what it's all about. It's what it's all about. And he's just trying to do all these grandstand moments so that he can build stuff for his case as he tries to sue the convoy. Which, I mean, good luck. $1 trillion, gazillion dollars. That's what we're gonna sue the convoy for. For what money do they have to get? You can't get it. It's the money's not there. There's no money. There is no money. That's the funny part about the whole thing. I'm sure his next accountant will be Jewish. I'd hire Lionel Hutz over this guy. Lionel Hutz, wasn't that, what is that name? Sound familiar? Wasn't that a character, like a Saturday Night Live character or something from back when Saturday Night Live was funny? Comedy Night with Clyde. Well, some of this stuff is comedy. The Simpsons. That's right. That's right. Clyde has gold fillings. Call dips on where there's gold. I don't know, gold fillings. That was just years of smoking. I'm glad I quit. But let's get into some more of the beautiful moments here. So this is another bit where Jeremy Mackenzie was actually brought on to testify. He was in his jail cell. Now this is from the Fairman's Toll on Twitter. Just spoke with Jeremy. He's in good spirits. And while he's glad that's over with, I can tell you he was just as amused with those proceedings as we were. Oh, goodness. Senval with a $10 super chat. I call sus on Unacceptable Fringes super chat. We all know that Clyde can't read. Just joking. He only reads good books. I'm now really done kidding. Think your books are funny stuff. Awesome. Thank you so much, Senval. Appreciate it. Dumpster fires. You got lighting some dumpster fires in the chat. I love that. I'm loving these new emojis. They're a ton of fun. Richard Purse with a $5 super chat. Welcome to the upside. Welcome to the upside down. We are circling the bowl. Hopefully not. But it's crazy. It's crazy. So Jeremy getting a chance to have his voice out there with no beard. Oh, poor guy. Did they take it off? Is that something they make you do in I don't know. But anyway, this is the Canadian Heritage Minutes. That's funny.
To be fair, you have a vice president.
Yes.
Could you tell the commissioner who your vice president is?
The vice president is of Diagolon, which is of my imagination. He is my sidekick that has evolved over the years. He's a demonic goat figurine named Philip with a very, very serious narcotics problem and time traveling ability.
To be fair, you have a vice president.
This is the actual inquiry. You can't make this up. It's too much. But we have more. Wait, there's more. Here's the clip. This was me, Paul Champ, representing the citizens of Ottawa perfectly by having a tantrum while cross-examining Pat King on the stand at the Emergencies Act inquiry. This is unreal. And then I got the clip here. He actually has a temper tantrum with Pat King. So the whole idea here, if you're a lawyer, and no joke, like, Pat King is a blowhard. He'll say all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, you could just let him go on and he would just do your job for you if you were trying to, you know what I mean? He probably had to really bite his tongue to not be Pat King on the stand, essentially. And well, he has to do his thing. Here's the clip.
I've never seen anything more loving and peaceful in my life.
Right.
It was Woodstock.
So the only person who's at risk in Ottawa was Pat King. All the other threats to anyone else in Ottawa were all fake. Is that right?
I don't know. I can't speak on those. You know, my lawyer has been given death threats and bomb scares because she represents me. Do you know that my friends their children have been threatened from Ottawa? Do you know that, and I hate to say this, but this town is full of a bunch of people who really don't like people who speak out.
I disagree, Mr. King. Ottawa has dozens of large protests, many much larger than the one that you organized every single year.
I've been here for them.
I'm not sure that was a question. So,
Well,
Slaps his pee-pee over that one. I don't know if that's a question. What are you doing, lawyer? But does he have a Jewish accountant? I don't know. I might have to ask Pat that. But it gets better.
Mr. Commissioner,
Okay, the point of a lawyer is to represent, but he's coming in. He's representing himself here. It's too funny. It's like, I don't know how this guy Muffin Wayne Allen, that's hilarious. I don't know how he passed the bar. Like, how does he keep his job? There's a certain, okay, and I gotta say this, some of the convoy organizers had a really, really hard time figuring out the demeanor and how to behave in a court setting. That was one. Bridget was another. Holy cow, she does not know demeanor at all. She needs to work on that for a court setting. And James Brewer, what was his, the Canada Unity guy? We'll get into that too. But Paul Champ should know better. Absolutely. It's crazy.
And I'll just
note, Mr. Commissioner, I'll just note for the record that the people of Ottawa got one morning in this proceeding. We've had a week of all of these convoy organizers given a full platform to say whatever they want. The people in Ottawa respect the right to protest, and these folks are getting their time to say everything they want from you.
Can I say one? Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm going to stop this. You'll get. Yeah. Hey,
please.
Could you ask have him? I'm going to take a break while you remove the person.
I'm sorry, sir.
The commission's in
Commission's in recess. It's because of the lawyer. I would assume that would have been because of Pat King. No, it was because of the lawyer. Unbelievable. Redneck with another $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Lulz, bookmark fees. Just my lazy ass warning, future me. If you super chat from YouTube app, the app store gets a cut. Go PC or cash for donos. Clyde deserves every nickel we send his way. When does something honk honk? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You're up on the board twice. The red one stays up for quite a while. Holy cow. But yeah, honk honk. Unbelievable. I can't believe that it wasn't Pat King that got somebody kicked out. the inquiry. It was Paul Champ. Ever since I've been the champ. Absolutely. Ever since I've been the champ. And what? Okay, so his gripe, as he's here, his gripe is that we didn't get enough time. We don't get enough time to say our thing. He's lucky they have standing. He's lucky they have standing at all in this. And they're given a short amount of time because their standing is loose. They're just a group of citizens who decided to sue the protesters, whatever that means. I don't know how you're gonna in aggregate sue the protesters. So they're aiming it at Freedom Corp, I guess. But good luck with that. A protest is a protest. And it's too funny. I will give Zexy therapy. She'll get that sexy therapy. It's too funny. He wants his cut. They all want their cut. And this is the problem. There's so many people that when that money comes about, it's wow, I want some of that. The money's gone. It's gone. And the money was a representation of the people. That's what it was. The fact that they got so much money, the $10 million twice, they've raised that much money in such a short period of time, was just a testament to how many people were in support of the cause of getting back to normal life in Canada and not dealing with this pandemic and vitriolic snitch on your neighbors type of life. It's not Canadian. It's not the way we are. It's the way some people are. It's the way Paul Champ is. Stella Kardec, thank you for the $10 super chat. I can't believe I missed that. Thanks for the replay. This is why I'm starting the Clips channel. I want to get a lot of these replays. I'll get a lot of these replays when the commission's over. We'll do stuff with Parliament and other things, and also clips from the live streams, clips from the channel. That's what the Clips channel is going to be all about. So be sure to check that out. Go subscribe. Here's the link again in the chat. Mark with the $2.79 super chat. No comment, but thank you so much, Mark. Appreciate it. Lynn B, the intolerable. Zexy's non-pole dancer name is Karen. Shut up. No, is that true? And she was Turd Star drama student. Really? Is that real? Is that real? Because if that is, it's funny. And it's, yeah. If Zexy's actually a Karen, well, she is a Karen, but if she's actually named Karen, that'd be funny. Yeah, my uncle got a $1,600 fine for having Thanksgiving with his family. See, this is not Canada. That's not Canada. No, and we can't forget that. We cannot forget that. None of this amnesty crap. No, that needs to be shown for what people did, and people need to apologize for that. And earnestly. But here's the thing, when they apologize, the forgiveness should come. And I really want to emphasize on that, because I don't want it to be a thing where, okay, rack them up, put them in the rack or whatever, even in a figurative way. I'm not being literal, no way. But it's just a joke. No, it's not actually Karen, but she is a Karen. No, we can't have amnesty for people's terrible behavior. We can't have that. We need to air it out. We need to talk about what happened. We need to, apologies need to be made. But forgiveness needs to happen. Absolutely. I think forgiveness is what comes after the apologies, and we need to find out who made money off of that, because those people, there needs to be justice on that. But But for our neighbors and our fellow Canadian people, I think the people who are vitriolic, I think they need to have their tail between their legs, and they need to own up to it, because I think personal responsibility is a very important thing, and this is how things heal. Paul Chump law. Or they'll just get Paul Chump to represent them and they'll never have to apologize. Maybe that's where we're at. Oh God. What else do we have here? This is actual Paul Champ, himself. The public what is it? The POEC. It's the Emergencies Act Commission. Anyway, continues to give opportunities for the convoy witnesses to espouse in their peace and love views. For those who live here, we saw something quite different. I push here to pull back the mask, and this is somebody else tweeting him out as James Bowder. Is that how you say it? So making hurling accusations at Bowder as he's on the stand.
People elsewhere may have seen what you and others were doing here in Ottawa, but they independently decided to follow that example and raise their voices in protest, didn't they?
Yes.
And just to be, I guess, fair to you, since you've been so fair to me, I have a minute or two left. If I was wondering if there was anything you'd like to tell us about how it felt to inspire people around the world to raise their voices.
Objection. Get into my feelings.
Objection. I'm not sure how that's relevant.
Oh,
it's okay.
I like that. Aw, I can't do that. So he was being kind, and because James Bowder, he just had no concept of when to speak and when to be spoken to at this inquiry. Really super passionate guy. He's the one who wrote the MOU that everybody freaks out about on the left. It's the smoking gun. Jagmeet Singh was all over Parliament and social media saying they wanted to overthrow the government. It's just a MOU, a memorandum of understanding that this truck driver wrote. Clearly didn't know how to write legal stuff, but nobody took it seriously. And it was written back in 2019 anyway, so it was not a thing. The one that gets passed around all the time was actually dated 2021. The convoy didn't take off until 2022. Interesting thing. Redneck with another super chat. Wow, $50 this time. You got a red, you got an orange, and you got a pink now up on the thing. Neighbors and families need hugs. Suit and tie criminals need the amnesty. See Discord A, B, or C memes. Who pink? Never seen that one. Okay. Oh, so you knew it was pink as you were doing it. Okay, yeah, it shows you the color as you're doing it. Thank you so much, man. Another super chat. Dara Sear with a $5 super chat. No amnesty for their no liability. I lost 2 friends to vax injury and my stepson to lockdown, depression, and drug use. Hold them liable. Yeah, hold them liable. But we can't go eye for an eye. Like we cannot go eye for an eye. Like I understand. It's really hard. It's really hard. I don't want to advocate for making things worse. You know what I mean? I know at the end of the day, at the end of all of this, we all need to come back together. And some people are rotten and have been rotten to the core. And I don't understand how people can live with themselves after being like that. I really don't. I don't see how they can live with themselves, but we have to live with them as neighbors. And we have to move forward. We have to move forward. But there will come a time where we have to talk about it, because there's no moving forward until we at least address it. And that's hard. That's really hard. That's going to be tough. Where was I? Sorry. I got sidetracked there because I was all in my head there. But Darius here, thank you for the super chat. Kush Mason with a $6.99 super chat. No amnesty. I need apologies, and of course forgiveness after. Thank you, Clyde. You seem to know more than I do about what's happening here in Ontario. Well, you have to if you live in British Columbia or Alberta or Saskatchewan or Manitoba. You have to know what's happening in Ontario and Quebec because, well, that's where all the decisions for our lives are made, unfortunately. And we're going to have to definitely find a remedy for that situation at some point as well. Or jail. Well, if jail is the option, jail for sure. Because yeah, not eyes. We don't support capital punishment here in Canada. Metaboss with the $2 super chat. No amnesty without legislative change to the Emergencies Act. I agree with that. I think we need a lot of legislative change, and this is a tricky one because this is tough. Opening up a can of worms if they if they amend the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, but it's toothless right now. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms is completely toothless. This EA is toothless. We can't have a government that just like steps all over it and then claims that they stand by it when it comes to their own personal things, like the whole teachers union thing that's going on right now. Trudeau government saying that they're standing up for the rights, the charter rights of people. It's like you can't say that while there's an Emergencies Act inquiry ongoing. I can't believe that. Lisa, I love your heart, Clyde. Big hugs, man. Well, we all need big hugs. We all need big hugs, honestly. Because we got to get past this. At the end of the day, we can't have a society where we have 50% on one side and 50% on the other side. We can't have a society where it's 20% on one side and 80 on the other side. You can't have that. We have to have commonalities. We have to come together. Otherwise we'll have to separate. There's no living in a society like that. And yeah, we have to at some point all come together. And it's because of politics, and it's too easy to divide and conquer, and that's a great strategy. But if it snowballs, it gets to the point, and I'm not going to Tim Pool you and say we're going to have a civil war or any of that stuff. I don't think we are going to have a civil war. I don't think that's in the cards. But I don't know. If things get too bad, divorce is an option. I'd like to see Canada come back together. I really would, but it's gonna take some reform, and the whole forgiveness thing. Anyway, Cody E with a Canadian $2 super chat. What's your opinion on Danielle Smith so far? I like her a lot. I don't like her opinions on the Ukraine stuff. I don't know why all the politicians, I think it's like you can't be a politician if you're not pro-war at the moment. I'm not pro-war. I'm not pro-Russia. Get off that. Don't even come at me with that one. I'm anti-war. I don't like blowing people up. We're a civilized society. We could be a civilized society. We can negotiate, but there's something wrong with a world where blowing people up in foreign countries is a profitable enterprise. That needs to change, and that's where I'm gonna stand on that position. So I like all the stuff she's saying, except the let's give all our money and guns and everything to Ukraine to keep that conflict going. I think that conflict needs to come to an end, and I'm not an expert on warfare and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna get too much into that. But I think a peace deal needs to be negotiated. If somebody has to, if things have to be lost and gained, what have you, it's better than people dying, and people who tell you otherwise. Well, I'm not gonna say anything for certain about them, but I disagree with them. I do. Fundamentally, I do. Redneck with another $10 super chat. We just need the right people to go under the full process of justice. No free pass, just pure law. Sadly, hopes ain't high. Traitors still get rope by law. Almost got my rainbow dono. Honk honk. Oh, you're going for the full rainbow. I get it now. The next one's gonna be 5. That's funny. Traders still get the rope by law. I don't know if that's true. Is that true? I thought we gave that up, but I could be wrong. Metaboss with a $5 super chat. Justin Trudeau challenged Ford for notwithstanding clause to end the strike right after using the EA to end peaceful protest. Yes, that's right. So the notwithstanding clause is fine when Legault uses it for French language law stuff. It's fine when other they use it for things that are liberal things. But then it's get rid of the notwithstanding clause. Is it not the notwithstanding clause that's actually helping the provinces keep the federal government at bay when it comes to the gun grab? I might be wrong on that. But wouldn't that be... it sounds too conspiracy theory-ish to say that maybe Doug Ford is doing this to bolster up support to get rid of the notwithstanding clause so Trudeau can go after the guns. That sounds like a conspiracy theory. I don't know. I'm not going to espouse that. I might want to talk to a legal professional before saying anything of the sort. But I don't know. You never know. The big scam. There you go. Hashtag the big scam. I'm not saying that. That's what is that what Rekieta Law got in trouble for saying? I don't say those things. No Clyde, notwithstanding clause has nothing to do with the gun grab. Oh, okay. Then I was wrong on that. That's fair. Today's conspiracy theory is tomorrow's fact, Clyde. Yeah, that is a thing. AJ, the $6.99 super chat. Is there going to be a way to come together with those who assert that a simple love of freedom makes someone a far-right extremist? Yeah, they got to come to grips with the fact that that's not the case. Now, here's the thing. When you have people who are extreme on both sides, and you have a government that has more power... Well, actually, first, if you have a government that has too much power, what it does is it makes people go extreme from one side to the other. Because the problem with the government having too much power is you have to have your guy in government, or else the other guy has power over you. And that's the problem. It's the problem with this whole thing, and it creates this team mentality, and it creates this like us versus them. And I see it even within our own community a lot. I see it, the us versus them stuff. And it even comes up like when I was talking to Maxime Bernier, right? There's a lot of PPC supporters in the community, and there's a lot of CPC supporters in the community. And there's like some diehard people in there. They're like, no, my guy. And I think dialogue is the answer to this. But I think limiting the power of government is the most important thing, because then if the government's so small, and I don't advocate, I'm not an anarchist, right? I'm not advocating for no government. I'm just advocating for the government to do the roles that it's actually intended to do, right? Policing, fighting fires, build the roads. I like the idea of toll roads. I honestly do. And I could get it all into that sometime. Someone reminded me, because I bet you there's a bunch of people wincing at that concept. but I can get into that another time. But I believe in government. I just think the government should be so small and so inconsequential to your daily life that you don't even know that it's there. You just live in a happy society that has police officers and going after bad guys. You know what I mean? Like, and court systems that function. I think that there is a role. There is a role for government, but when the government has too much power, when it has so much power that it involves itself in every little aspect of your life, this is when you have to vie for your guy to be in all the time. You need to have your guy. It's got to be my guy. It's because if it's not my guy, it's their guy, and I don't trust them. I don't trust them with their opinions and what they want to do with that power, because they're going to come after me. They're going to tax the rich. You know, who's the rich? Who's the rich? Who's the rich? You know, the rich is, for a lot of these people, the rich is someone who owns a business and employs 10 people. You know, the rich is someone who sold their house to the Canada Revenue. If you sold your house this year, you're the rich. Tax the rich. Get out of here. You're coming after people and their things. And this is why I absolutely advocate for the government being as small as possible, because then at least you can have communists in your community and you don't have to care because they have no power to come after your property. I live near Toronto, says Kush Mason with a $6.99 super chat. I was in Ottawa all 3 weekends. I wish it was an annual. If someone can forgive, I can't forgive. I understand they've been through a lot more than I have. Okay, and that makes a lot of sense. But forgiveness needs to come. I think it's a part of the healing process. We need to get there, but it's going to be a tough ride. Absolutely. Wayne Allen with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Nothing happens in Canada without our morally bankrupt and demonstrably corrupt courts allowing or likely directing it. Publication bans protect corrupt courts, not innocent victims. I agree. Publication bans, not allowing people to use social media, not allowing people to express their opinions and their voices. Look at what's happened with Tamara Lich, Pat King. Their charter rights are gone. What? Because of a bail condition for almost 2 years it's going to be? By the time Tamara sees a court for the charges that she's for what? For mischief? For mischief? Like, you can't be serious. For mischief. Oh, good night. No toll on Coquihalla. Highway Clyde, please. Okay. So yeah, I'm not gonna get into the toll roads thing too much, but let me just say I lived in Japan for a time, and they have paid roads. Like you can get places without using the paid roads, but it's so much better with the paid roads. And they're quite cheap because more people use them, and they're safer because they're upkept better, because there's actual liability if people hurt themselves on their roads at the fault of potholes or whatever. You can sue the company, right? And the toll roads are fantastic, and they work really, really well. But I can get into more of the philosophy behind it another time. Let's get into more of this. So we were clowning on this guy. We were clowning on Chump, on Paul Chump. Anyway, so he interrupts. I'll play this again. So he interrupts Canada Unity guy, James Bowder, and does not what a lawyer should be doing.
People elsewhere may have seen what you and others were doing here in Ottawa, but they independently decided to follow that example and raise their voices in protest, didn't they?
Yes.
And just to be, I guess, fair to you, since you've been so fair to me, I have a minute or two left. If I was wondering if there was anything you'd like to tell us about how it felt to inspire people around the world to raise their voices.
Objection.
Get into my feelings?
Objection. I'm not sure how that's relevant.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I still to this day, how I feel. I'm broken, but because people come together and they chose on their own accord to choose one word, unity.
People are saying that's not chum.
I
Just
will
wait.
forever
Just wait.
be grateful and thankful for Canada, for giving the world hope, because we needed it. I got a lot of feelings, and I'm sorry.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Bowder. Those are my questions.
Thanks for the love, and thanks for the bear hugs.
Mr.
Keep 'em
Commissioner, that's Paul Champ on the record. I apologize for not saying it earlier for the purposes of transcripts. I just know I didn't ask Mr. Bowder any questions about his many hateful comments about Islam, his many hateful and bigoted comments about homosexuals.
I'm not sure how this is relevant. What are
I
you
agree.
doing
I
here?
didn't think it was relevant. That's why I asked. But that's why I'm asking why Mr. Bowder is given an opportunity to answer those kinds of questions, which are otherwise irrelevant.
Well, it's, firstly, it was a question within his time period, and he was asked how he felt. I'm not sure what that adds, if that's your point, in terms of the evidence. But in any event, I was going to give him, as he's unrepresented, an opportunity to say something at the end. So I think all this is done is do it in advance. But what exactly is your point? You want it, what, struck from the record, or do you want a further opportunity to cross-examine? What is it you're after?
Well, Mr. Bowder has made many comments about unity. If that's relevant to the commission, I would ask him some questions about his views on unity.
If you want to do further cross-examination, you stopped at the end. I was prepared, I didn't cut you off. If you want to come back up, you can go ahead.
What a piece of work this guy is. What a piece of work.
Mr. Bowder, you've testified many times about your love and brotherhood for others and your love of unity, but you would agree with me, you don't feel unity towards all Canadians. It does not include Canadians, for example, of Islamic faith. Isn't that right?
No.
You are upset that you feel the government of Canada promotes Islamic ideologies. You've said that before, correct?
Was that before I found God?
Okay, so you've said that before.
Was that before I found God? Because you're asking dates, and I don't agree with what you're saying now, to date, right now.
Okay, well, that's good. I appreciate
that's where I'm under oath to
appreciate
date.
that.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, I thank you.
No, you don't
that. Now, we've
appreciate
seen
it.
some documents up there.
He
where
doesn't appreciate it because he wanted to slander him in front of everybody. What he wanted to do is label him as a phobic, some sort of phobic, right? Like let's not forget where all of the Islamophobia came from in the first place. It came from government. It came from government, and it pushed people into having these phobias. And then they come back, and then they're like, "You used to be a phobic." Yeah, well, some people bought into the crap. Some people bought into the crap. Down the road, this guy's gonna be held under the same scrutiny for the crap that he's saying now. There's going to be a lot of people on about the stuff that he's going on about his, I guess, anti-vax phobic. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's unreal. It's always the racist card. Yeah. It's always that. Well, he's using it quite a bit. He's using it quite a bit.
You've referred to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as Justine Trudeau. Why do you refer to him as Justine Trudeau?
Why not?
Are you trying to suggest something that's emasculating or making some kind of comments or suggesting
Could be a typo.
that
I don't know. Could be a typo. I don't know.
Pardon me?
Could be a typo.
Was it a typo? It's your words, sir.
Well, maybe it's a typo. I don't know.
But
Are you telling us it's a typo, or were you trying to suggest something because you think it's somehow negative to be of transgender or so forth? Is that
As an
the point
alpha
you're trying to make?
male, trucker, oil patch, farm boy kind of guy, and seeing old little Mr. Trudeau there in his boxing shorts with his juice box water bottle sort of things, yeah, we call him Justine.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't help but laugh at that. Chris B with the 279 super chat, but the message rejected. Oh no. Do you want to leave another message, Chris B? I'd be happy to read it. Sorry, I missed what the message was. I'm sorry. Oh, I was having a laugh at this. Oh, that would kind of backfired on him. As a roughneck kind of guy. Yeah. It is little with this juice box sort of thing. Oh, there's too many moments. There's too many moments. Holy cow. Christine Ben. Do you have a clip where Chump says to Balford, all the convoy people left their Confederate flags at some Mr. Barber? At home, Mr. Barber. Oh, no. I don't have that clip. If somebody has that clip, I want to pull that up. I heard that today. That was something else. So all the convoy people left their like Mr. Barber. That was classic Chump. Absolutely. Redneck with a $5 super chat. Dang, gonna have that to Rainbow another week. Kids woke up too often. Oh, I appreciate it though, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, the Justine, was it a typo? Well, maybe an alpha male like me. Oh, yeah. It's too good. It's too good. Oh, goodness. I got this one. This one was funny. It's fun getting to see Paul Champ exposed for what a left-wing lunatic that he is. And here's a picture. Yes, the lawyers representing the Ottawa Residents and Businesses Coalition are both wearing masks, but no poppies in the public hearing. Oh, in the hearing room. That's insane. Just, oh, wow. Wow. They love war, but they don't love the warriors, right? Put those poppies on. Come on. Get with it. Get with it. Yeah, don't forget that. Don't forget that. All those people that love war but don't love the warriors. That one's hungry eyes. Unreal. What else do we have here? We've got more testimony. This was testimony.
Just to kind of.
And forgive me for not remembering their names, but this was a young man who was injured in the line of duty in the Canadian Armed Forces, and this other woman was also at the protests. They both came to the protests in Ottawa, not as truckers, but as just civilians wanting to be there. Obviously, him as a veteran, and he wore his medals of honor. Chris Deering, okay, and I didn't catch her name as well. But they came on to testify, and this was kind of like a last minute thing. But they came on to testify. There was a bit of contention about the evidence that they brought forward, and there were some objections, and then everything went back to normal. But yeah, this is a little segment from there. I didn't have much to bring forward, but I wanted to make sure to show that they came forward this week, and this was a very important thing. And you can always go back. You can always go back and watch all the entirety of everyone's testimonies But here's a small clip.
We made our way February 11th, the first weekend, just to kind of, we wanted to see for ourselves what was going on, because when we watched the news, there was one narrative, and we wanted to see for ourselves, because on Facebook and social media, you'd see a whole completely different other story. So we wanted to go there for ourselves. So first instance was myself and my wife. We went up just to see what was going on. I participated in the fence removal. Again, I went home. The following, it was the February 17th, I left my residence at 5 a.m. To go to the protest. But during the protest, there was hugs, there was homeless people being showered with food. I had read that crime was down. It was the most amazing experience I've had in my life. And I don't regret going or being there one bit.
There you go.
We made our way.
So yeah, some really good testimony that came out. Got some other clips here. Sorry, I wanted to go through a bunch of this. This is a clip of Danny Balford. Of course, retired RCMP. He resigned because he had spoken out about the COVID mandates, lockdowns, rules in Canada, and he was about to. Well, they were gonna get rid of him over it, so he was forced into resigning. But yeah, obviously another Canadian hero came forward to join in with the truckers and lend his skills to what was going on there, and true Canadian patriot there. I can't say enough good things about this man.
What were your general observations of the protest during the first weekend?
Well, I didn't get out of the Swiss Hotel very much those first initial days, but when I finally did, it was the largest event I've ever observed in downtown Ottawa in my time here.
And what about the conduct of the participants?
Well, it was I'd say it was a very festive atmosphere. People were very emotional. Hugs all over the place. There was the crane stage truck had already been established up at the intersection of Metcalfe and Wellington by the time I got out for the very first time to go actually see it for myself. And so that's where I went, and it was incredible. The crowd was humongous, and people, if I recall correctly, the first time I got out was to actually go make a speech on the stage truck. And it was a very overwhelming emotional experience, because I felt that there was a sense of hope that Canada wouldn't go to a very dark place.
And what was your speech about, just very generally?
Well, I know that I included some of those remarks in my speech, that prior to that convoy, I was ready to leave the country. My wife and I had discussed that at length, moving somewhere where we would be, well, treated as an equal citizen, and especially for the future of our children. And that seeing the convoy and the rallying of support behind it all across Canada restored my faith in Canadians, that they weren't just going to let Canada degenerate further.
Amazing testimony. He had a really funny moment. I had to put it on Twitter as soon as I heard it. Danny Balford testifies that when hearing from the OPS that they were surprised about the size of the convoy, he replied, "You should stop listening to the CBC." And then the hall erupted in laughter. I got to find the clip at some point. Apparently I got the quote not exactly right. Somebody corrected me. You should stop getting your intelligence from CBC. Everyone laughed. Oh, I mean, everyone, it seems, is catching on. Everyone seems is catching on to this whole thing. I got a couple of super chats here. Redneck with a $2 super chat. Here's that B1. Used them for poop montage. You've got the whole rainbow. You've got the whole rainbow now. It looks like. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Jeremy Fraser with the 450 super chat. Met Danny at TO rally a couple of weeks after. Yeah, awesome. Danny, I had the privilege of having him on to talk about a bit of this inquiry. As they were, the police were all on, and I asked him some questions about policing and whatnot, because, well, he's an expert at that stuff. So I hope I could have him on again as well. Great guy, and he had a bit of a scenario like I did a few times where kids were running in. It was funny. It was great people, amazing people in Canada here, standing up for our freedoms. And this inquiry is just taking too much time out of everyone's lives right now. It's unreal. And it's the whole sad part is we know where it's going. Justice Rouleau looks like he's going to find it that they were not justified in using the act. And he'll make his recommendations. And what do you even say to that? He'll make his recommendations. It's toothless. This legislation that has the ability to suspend the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which seems to be a toothless document in our country anymore anyway. This piece of legislation that gives the government power to compel tow truck drivers at the risk of losing their livelihoods to tow trucks for them. It has the ability to shut off people's bank accounts, unperson them because they disagree with policy at a federal level. That's tough. That's tough to see, that all we might get are recommendations. And then what? And then it goes to Jimmy McJuggernuggets to say, nope, I'm gonna hang on to this little sweet bit of power that I've got until 2025 before Canadians can go out and vote an election again. I don't know. I don't know where this brings us. I don't know where that takes us, because it's tough to look at that situation and think that that it's just going to be all handy dandy and good. I'm seeing people getting timed out in the chat. Hey, behave in the chat. We'll see what happens. But I think political careers are going to be lost in some upcoming testimonies. Next week we have some. They're saying like the lower politicians, federal politicians, and then I think it's going to be the following week after. That's when the big boys come out. Oh, the big boys. And Trudeau's going to bring his big boy pants, apparently. Looks like Marco Mendicino might not have much of a political career after this. He's got a lot going on for him, enough for them all to throw him under the bus and probably be the fall guy for this whole thing. Cody E., member for 4 months, renegotiating that deal and staying a member. Thank you so much. Just wanted to say thank you for making your content easy to digest for my mom. Now, if I can only get my brother who lives in Vancouver to watch it, burn. No, you're absolutely. And the reason why I do the content the way I do it, and I try to keep all the F-bombs and stuff like that out of it, is because I want people to be able to have my video playing while their kids are in the room. I'm a dad, right? I don't want my I can't watch a lot of the channels that I like because they just the language, man. The language. So I try to do that. And one other thing that I really like to do is to try to if I'm gonna explain something, to try to bring everybody on board. Like not everybody understands every little concept of it. So I'll try to and it might get tedious for people who are unfamiliar with certain ideas, but I like to bring people along. If I say an acronym, I'll try to explain what that acronym is for people who don't know that. If I say a particular phrase or technical jargon, I'll try to explain it, even if I have to keep explaining these things because there's always new viewers. But it's it's something I like to do. It's something I like to do because I want to bring everybody along for the ride. Because it's one thing I can't stand is when people use big words just for the sake of using big words, just to sound smart and sound good, and then you got to sit there with your thesaurus and you're leafing through your phone and you're looking words up. And it's like you don't sound any smarter. You're narrowing your field of people to talk to. And I like to bring in the most amount of people because these are ideas that I think everybody should be sharing with everybody else. And that's the thing. I appreciate you not using the F-bomb or anything colorful. Thanks, Clyde. Well, sometimes I do a little bit of colorful language, but I try to keep it at the minimum, or at least use euphemisms. So you get what I'm saying, but maybe the kiddos don't. Indubitably. Yeah, that's right, noob. Move to interior. Much better. It's colder. It's much colder. Absolutely. Absolutely. But there's so many stories that I want to get to. There's so many stories that I always want to get to. And this is the part of the day, the part of the stream where I'm like, I wanted to hit that up. I wanted to hit that up. I wanted to hit that up. But we're just about getting to that 2-hour mark, and you know how it is. You know how it is. We get to the 2-hour mark, and then I start losing my voice. It's time for a wobbly pop. It's time to go to the Discord. It's time to hang out with you guys that want to come join and hang out and chill. And I'd like to have a beer. It's been a long week. It's been one of those weeks. Lots of inquiry in the ear. Lots of stuff going on. Get yourself a Locals, Clyde. Not everyone has Discord. You just might be pushing me in that direction. You might. So, okay. Not everyone has Discord. That's fair. Maybe I'll work on something. I got some peoples that have been helping me out with getting stuff going and making things so it's accommodating for everybody, right? As much as I can. I don't want to stretch myself too thin. You're a good dude, Clyde. You need a beer. I do need a beer. And thank you, Kim. Thank you. I don't know if there's... What's this? Thanks, Clyde. Enjoy wobbly pops. What's Locals? Yeah, right? So not everybody knows Locals. So Locals is another social media. So Locals is a social media that was brought about by Jordan Peterson and Dave Rubin. And they were, well, everyone knows who Jordan Peterson is. I'm sure everyone in the chat knows who Jordan Peterson is. But Dave Rubin is also a journalist. He, years ago, worked for the Young Turks of all places. Young Turks is a left-wing publication on YouTube. Self-made. Chunk Yogurt is the guy who founded that thing. Surprisingly took the name Young Turks. The Young Turks was a group of Turkish people during around Second World War time that actually committed the genocide against the Armenian people, which I think is just absolutely insane. It'd be like a German guy having a podcast called The Hitler's Youth. I don't understand that, but whatever. That's kind of their thing. But so Dave Rubin, he used to work for the Young Turks, saw how crazy the left was and broke away. he's still kind of like centrist, center right, I guess. But he saw people getting canceled a ton, and he joined forces with Jordan Peterson, and they formed Locals, another social media platform, another alternative. There's all kinds of alts, and that's why I'm really glad about Twitter, because Twitter is coming around, because everybody's on. Well, not everybody's on Twitter, but like all the politicians and all the people that you're trying to get in touch with and stuff when you're following the news. As a person who disseminates news, that's the place to be. Alison Moreau is all about Locals. She's one of your helpers? No, she's not one of my helpers. She's one of my friends, though, and I like Alison Moreau. She's I've been on her channel twice now, and she's fantastic. And I'm looking forward to other times going on there. Newbie431 gifting 10 Clyde Do Something memberships. Amazing. Thank you so much, my man. And happy for all those people that now get to use those fun emojis. And we're going to have more of those. We're going to put more of those in the thing. And thinking about doing some other tiers. If you got any suggestions on stuff that you'd like to see on the channel, that kind of thing, maybe perks or something with the memberships, let me know. I'd like to add that for everybody that wants these things. If you don't want these things, then it's not a big deal. Marty up north, amazing guy, of course. Hey Faye, I've had him on the channel twice now, and bang up guy. What an awesome dude. Redneck with another $5 super chat. More meme. I think you forget the 5. Forgot the 5? No, you did do a 5. It's just that the 5s disappear faster. The 2s disappear faster than that. You put that 100 up there. That was just, wow, amazing. Anyway, I'm not going to keep anyone much longer. We're going to go hang out in the Discord. If you don't know what it is, there's a link in the description down below. Discord is another social media. I like it because it's you can create your own server. It's your own little community space, much like Locals, but it has much better video and voice sharing. Great way to get together with people and share ideas. It's a fantastic place to be. Anyway, we'll see you guys all in the next one. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your time. Get yourself a wobbly pop. And as always, keep on trucking.